What it do, flight crew? FTC. Flight team stand up? Hey man, how's it going, twats? Manuel Tweek back at it. Today, maybe a little bit unique of a topic for a video, but I just like to make content on subjects that I enjoy. Now, I haven't watched anime since 2017, nor will I ever get back into it. But I will live and die by Hunter x Hunter. I've seen a lot of anime in my time, but all only because I finished Hunter x Hunter first and I wanted to find another series that could make me feel the same way that Hunter x Hunter did. Never found that. Hajime no Ippo was a good anime, but I believe that Hunter x Hunter is the best. By far my favorite. It's truly an amazing series no matter what you're into. I obviously recommend a watch. However, I must notify you that this video contains spoilers. And if you want a more in-depth video on the events following the chairman election arc, check out the New World Review on YouTube. He has a lot of content that is informative about Hunter x Hunter on his channel. And now, let's get into it. As the last anime arc, the chairman election arc, ended, Jin told Gon about the existence of the Dark Continent and how he plans on going there. Parison also has plans to go there with his thousands of chimera ant hybrids, for some reason unknown to us as of now. As you'll get to see, Parison is a very sneaky man who only does what he feels is fun at the time. This was mentioned during the chairman election arc, but to be honest, the chapters of the manga after the anime was a lot to read, and I myself had to stop for a while as it was a lot to digest. If you've never heard of the Dark Continent before, oh boy, you're in for a treat. It is a truly scary place that has many beings in it that can end humanity in an instant. The only way to access the Dark Continent is through the Gatekeepers, who are magical beasts. All voyages to the Dark Continent have been through the Gatekeepers. Isaac Netero himself journeyed to the Dark Continent on 2 separate occasions, and if you didn't know, he has a son. His name is Beyond Netero. He went to the Dark Continent too, and he was prohibited to go back by Isaac, only allowed to go after his death. All of humanity has been prohibited from traveling back to the Dark Continent, but Beyond contacted the Royal Kakian Empire, who is a family of princes that will now journey to the Dark Continent as their current king believes that there are great treasures to bring back to humanity from the Dark Continent. This is true. The Dark Continent is a very high-risk, high-reward place. Almost all of the 100+ travels to the Dark Continent ended in complete death and failure as humanity fell victim to the 5 calamities. The 5 calamities being Pap, Hellbells, Brion, Zobai, and I. Pap has killed the 1,000 expeditioners that encountered it. It feeds on the human brain, slowly killing them, and while this happens, the human that it feeds on feels a great pleasure in the slow death. Pap also considers this human as a pet. Jing also says that they have found victims of Pap and I in the human world, and it is a miracle that the world hasn't been destroyed yet. Brion is a creature with a sphere on its head that hosts a human body, and it protects the mysterious ruins with all the disease-curing herbs. Brion overlooks the ruins, and it attacks anyone it sees. The form of attack is unknown, but it could be like a dandelion, where if it sees an intruder, it bursts into airborne seeds, and anyone attacked will be infected, and their head will be replaced by another Brion, assigned with the same task to guard. That is why the bodies are so built, as anyone who enters the Dark Continent must have the physical fitness of an Olympic athlete. That is how brutal it is. Isaac Netero, in his prime, ventured out to the Dark Continent for a challenge, but admitted that the only victory here was survival. Isaac Netero perfectly ties us into the next calamity, I. I is the gaseous life form that enters a person and has the powers of a god. Nanika is I. I mentioned Isaac as any time an unsuccessful journey to the Dark Continent happens, humanity is forced to bring back a calamity into the known world as punishment. Netero didn't venture alone though. He was accompanied by Zig Zoldyck and Lene Hors-d'oeuvre. It is believed that I was the punishment sent upon Isaac's journey, as Nanika or Aluka is a direct descendant of Zig. Now, Zobai is a disease that makes people immortal. They can live sufficiently for as long as they want. People infected also aren't considered humans anymore. One person from a previous trip caught it and has been living in an enclosed facility for 50 years. At the end, the infected person started eating itself. And finally, Hellbells. Hellbells are twin-tailed snakes that infects its prey with homicidal desires. They also create a hand that grew mouths, mini hands, and what seems to be tendrils. Hellbells not only infect its prey with homicidal desires, but also mutates them. The Dark Continent is so intense that even the Chimera ants, who actually originated from the Dark Continent as we know now, were only ranked a Class B threat, and the entirety of the Dark Continent is ranked as Class A. And as much as it pains me, I think now is a good time to mention that Gon and Killua will most likely not be having a major role in any of the foreseeing arcs. But fear not, because Dawn Freaks is a name that has emerged as somebody who has scoured one of the sides of the Dark Continent
and a book has been written. He has been living for hundreds of years, which will not surprise you because there are many resources capable of such feats as unmanned rock, which is an ore that generates electricity when placed underwater. One small bead can generate 20,000 kilowatts a day, and an unknown herb which can cure all kinds of diseases. Nitro rice is also the ultimate secret of longevity. The Trinity elixir is the mother solution of all sorts of liquids, and Metallion is an alchemy plant. Now you can see why people venture out to the Dark Continent in search of these amazing resources that can benefit the whole human race. And again, only the East edition of the Dark Continent has been found. So there is still a possibility that there are many more resources that can benefit us. Also, Dawn Freaks could very well be out there right now completing it because he can still be alive with the Nitro Rice. Now, the Succession War involves the Kakian Empire mentioned before. There are 14 princes applying to both genders here, who are on board a ship called the Black Whale that is departing into the Dark Continent. Their king has initiated a contest where each prince consumes an egg, and from that egg they will receive a Nen Beast. Now, I would love to sit here and talk all day about the Succession War, but I think it is far too long to get in depth about it. So again, I'm going to recommend you watch the New World Review's Succession War recap videos because he explains it so thoroughly. However, I'm going to quickly say that a handful of the princes have already been killed, and pretty much only Saradnik, Wobble, Benjamin, and Hulkenberg are noteworthy, but anything can happen. Only one will remain by the time they get to the Dark Continent. Kurapika, who is back, is also a major character in this arc. He was hired to protect Prince Wobble, who was a baby. Leoria was also back and active too. So is Bisky, Hisoka, Krollo, Hanzo, Cheetle, and a few others. But Prince Saradnik is the one you want to keep your eyes out on though. He genuinely gives me the chills. He's a cold-blooded murderer who kills for the sake of art. Kurapika joins the Black Whale to retrieve his Scarlet Eyes, which is possessed by Saradnik. Saradnik hates, in his own words, lying bitches. He has an employee send him victims to his room where he kills them. He's a mastermind. As soon as he found out about Nen after eating the egg, he mastered Nen in a couple of days. Saradnik has many body parts all around his room, and he even has what seems to be the head of Kurapika's best friend Pyro. Kurapika isn't who he once was either. He's a changed man compared to the good old days of Hunter x Hunter. He's a fearless man who is serious and shouldn't be wronged. He's incredibly strong and has many resources to kill many. He will stop at nothing to retrieve the Scarlet Eyes of his Kurta brethren. Saradnik even unconsciously manifested another Nen Beast. And on top of everything, he is a specialist. And he has an ability that allows him to see into the future. His bodyguard Thera realized that he would be a huge danger to the entire world, so she planned to kill him, but his ability prevented that, and he confronted her and demanded to know why she needed to kill him. He swore to kill her if she ever tries this again. One of his Nen Beasts activated some kind of trial upon her, and her face slowly started to change. He seems to grow and gain power every second he is left unattended. I truly believe he is the greatest threat we have ever seen in the series thus far. Kurapika also lost 5 years off of his life when he activated Emperor Time for 12 hours straight. Krollo removed Kurapika's judgment chains and fought Hisoka in a great fight where he triumphed and killed Hisoka due to his brilliance, and after getting Shalnark's Hatsu and using the other ones from his book. Remember Neon? She seems to have died as her Nen ability isn't in Krollo's book anymore. The fight is too epic not to see for yourself. Hisoka doesn't stay dead though. He thought this might happen, so he used post-mortem Nen to revive himself and made up his mind where he wouldn't play games anymore and kill any Phantom Troop member he'd see. He has so far killed Kartopia and Shalnark. Krollo then joins the Phantom Troop aboard the Black Whale to avenge their comrades, as Hisoka too is aboard the ship. Kurapika and them don't know of each other's presence on board, so that will be more plot intrigue. And that is pretty much it so far for the events preceding the anime in Hunter x Hunter. I know this isn't in every detail, but since I compiled everything into one video, I had to compress it all down. Thank you guys for watching. This video took me forever to make, so if you could please help me out and subscribe, like, comment, share, it'd mean the world to me. Anyway, deuces, Tweek out. I'm excited to see what Togashi has in store for us.